Welcome back to House of the Dragon. I'm getting the feeling we get to continue right on after... Oh, yep, okay. God, that was an intense scene to end that last episode.
Villains! They dare strike at me!
Viserys worked very hard on that.
Yes. Fire from the sky!
I can't really blame him feeling that way, though. I mean, that was his son, and an extremely brutal way to kill him as well. He knows they were after him. Wonder if he feels any guilt over that. God, this music is so good, dude.
But what they've done to Micah...
Oh. Some very convincing acting right there, Jesus.
They punished me.
Wow, you blame yourself for it, for real? I mean...
Some good may yet come of this.
I'm sorry, what?
The Lord Commander of my King's Guard.
I was abed, Your Grace, having ordered the Night's Watch.
He's technically not lying, he was in
Is
bed.
there any question who did this?
Just not his
Who was
bed.
laughing at me? She's fucking laughing at me!
She's currently mourning her own son, but I can see why you think that. Again, it's understandable.
It could be any one of you in this room.
Oh dear. It wasn't, if that makes you feel any better.
Weak!
You're already seen as weak, Aegon.
It doesn't exactly help your case, Aegon.
Let them look upon the works of this pretender to the throne.
That's in poor taste, but I mean...
Jaehaerys will do more for us now than 1,000 knights in battle.
Wow, I actually feel bad for him. I mean, he's a terrible, terrible person. I shouldn't, but I actually do feel bad for him. Oh, poor Helena. She's just a sweet, innocent person. Like one of the only innocent people.
Helena, what you saw last night when you came to my room...
This is for my boy.
She's like, I don't give a fuck about that. I really don't. Let's see if they caught the right person. Yeah, they did. Oh my god. It's so manipulative to have the body on display like that, and again, it's in such poor taste. But politically not the worst move. I mean, again, if they killed my son in such a horrible way, took his head and everything, I'd probably be doing the exact same thing as Aegon right now. Such beautiful imagery. Oh, come on, man. Yeah. A neurodivergent person and one who has just suffered some severe, severe trauma, now being ganged up on by the masses. Not a great combination.
At a time when we most need loyalty to our cause.
Yeah, this is not good. This is very not good.
On Helena, of all people. An innocent.
Wow, you all really don't believe her?
I merely thought, perhaps, an action taken in haste.
Mind yourself.
Yeah, I would back off of that position real fast, my guy. Ooh.
Did you send assassins to murder children in their beds?
I sent the Queen's vengeance for her son.
What did you tell them?
If not Aemond, then anyone would do.
No.
You have wounded me.
Then what did you
My
say?
claim to the throne, my ability to raise an army.
I said no.
Then what did you
don't believe
say? Yeah, I don't believe you either.
I've never trusted you wholly. Much though I wished to, willed myself to.
You're smart to not trust him wholly.
With which to grasp at your stolen inheritance. Blade.
You think me some kind of monster?
Oh, I don't know what to think.
I mean, you're a little bit.
Serve.
Am I not on my way even now to Harrenhal to...
The tension. My god.
Do you accept me?
Because you knew your legacy, unlike mine, would never outshine his own.
He was not afraid of you, David.
It's partly true. Partly true.
Not trust you.
It was a mistake.
It's a pretty big mistake. My palms are sweating a little bit. That was intense. Jesus. There's so many new sets here on Dragonstone. They look so good.
And keep a watch on King's Landing. I must know which course they take next. We can afford no further mistakes.
I mean, her dragon is quite small. If she goes up against Vhagar, it's all over. He looks so cool in his armor and atop a dragon. I actually have a model of Caraxes, like, right up here. How are you gonna speak to your wife? She could use some comfort right now. You both could. Of course. And this poor girl. You deserve so much better of a life. You really do. I'm really glad they didn't shy away from the aftermath of this. Really honed in on the guilt and like horrific trauma that all the characters would face from such an event happening.
Will you so easily sully our ancient honor?
You're gonna take out your hypocritical criticisms of the oath on other people now? What a joy of a person you are.
Well, if you thought to go upstairs, where were you? Oh, Commander.
Thank you.
Surely once she ascended, she should have...
Your brother is a thief and a traitor to the crown.
I'm just gonna go.
You will go to Dragonstone and strike down Rhaenyra in her own halls.
Oh, we're doing this. You know damn well he can't survive that mission.
Or must I question your loyalty to the king?
You utter asshole. Well, wherever we are, everyone seems to be having a good time. Oh.
He's afraid of me.
No. Just trying to get some comfort, because you're not going to get it from your own mother.
Surely the city cannot yet be short of food.
I think not. But
I didn't expect to get much backstory for him. He is a character from the book, but one I kind of expected them to cut.
Well met, brother. After many months.
Ah, so this is Adam.
There is a war brewing, Adam. A real one.
Another opportunity to distinguish yourself. He heals us.
Does the stew have carrots in it?
Interesting.
Damon will challenge her.
Anything's possible.
that neither can he allow her to command him.
I have on occasion found that to be quite enjoyable.
I love this library. It looks so cool.
The Lady Massaria, Your Grace.
He's gone. A week? Or forever, I do not know.
He does do that,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
He does do that. Rhaenyra, you are scaring me. Please back up.
Ask you to honor your husband's words.
I just noticed her scar across her throat.
How did you get that scar?
We're not gonna? Okay. Why would you tease me with acknowledging it and then not answering it? Come on. Ah, sea smoke. Nice foreshadowing here. It's a really nice shot of King's Landing and the Red Keep right there. Ooh. For what reason exactly? What's happened here?
Ratcatchers
Oh,
in the king's employ.
so they just killed them all.
What they do?
Well, they got him. Aww. He kicked you, don't be sad about it.
And their wives and children gather now at our gates to weep and curse your name.
Otto's right. That was a bad move. At least do it secretly, you know, if that's really your play.
He was right about you.
Otto,
He made me king.
he did not. For once, I'm on Otto's
Remove
side.
your badge.
But,
Sir Otto.
yeah. You knew there had to be consequences to that. I think this was coming regardless, but still.
Not mine. I have Dad. And I find it stimulating.
Well, that's not good.
Give it to Cole.
Here we go.
Grace will be a steel fist.
If only you knew he's fucking your mom.
You are dismissed.
Yeah, I got that.
You may go.
Your Grace.
What an honorable move, Rhaenyra. With the death of your son so fresh, I'm a little surprised, actually. You gonna go back and say something? That would prove your worth like 100 times over.
A moment.
Really should have come up with like passcodes when it comes to the twins, since they're on opposing sides. She's like, please, I'm trying to braid your hair. You're making this so difficult. Now there's only one way in, one way out.
So, Eric.
Oh, he's getting real close.
Brother!
I already can't tell which one is which. Okay, well, I guess he's Eric.
Which is Eric?
I don't know. Oh, ow. So which one just killed which one?
Forgive me.
No!
Oh! I knew that they both died in this fight, but I didn't think like that.
Sir Kristen is not temperate.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Be questioned.
Have a son there. We'll take more kindly to instruction. Daron may yet help us in weeks to come.
They finally actually name dropped Darren. Alright. Are you crying, Kristen? Because, oh, it's Aegon. Come on, Allison. Be a good mother. Comfort your son. He's a terrible person, but, like, he's your son. Go comfort him. Really? Allison, again, you are so much more sympathetic in this version of the story than you are in the book, but, like, that's your son, dude. You are so awful when it comes to your children. I don't need more of this. Please. Oh. Do it again. Fuck him up. I can already tell this is gonna lead to more sex, but, like, I kind of like seeing him get hit. She said, ooh, that was kind of hot. Let's go. That's really how you end it? Okay. Well, another really good episode, I will say. But there's a lot to discuss for sure. So my initial thoughts here, actually, I'm glad we're taking time with the story. Given how we jumped to the death of Jaehaerys in that first episode, and there were, again, some mild concerns I was having with the pacing of it being just a little too fast. I'm glad this episode seemed to slow down just a little bit, and we didn't jump to like the next big crazy event. I suppose there is one big crazy event here with the battle between Eric and Arik. I think they're still both pronounced Eric, but I can't do that just for my own sanity. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to distinguish the two, which is sort of the point, but like I can't do that. Here we take a lot of time to delve into the emotions and aftermath, politics, and all the small little details that come with Jaehaerys' murder. Like how this affects Rhaenyra, how this affects Aemon because he was the target, how this affects Aegon because, you know, he was just dicking around while his son was murdered, but he's the most powerful man in the Seven Kingdoms. How could he let this happen? Alicent and Kristen were, you know, in the middle of sinning while this happened and both feel an immense amount of guilt over it. Otto's looking for the best political play to take in this situation. which was incredibly manipulative. A good play, honestly, but, you know, still using his usual tactic of using the women in his life to further his goals by having Alicent and Helena, like, trail behind the dead body of Jaehaerys. Neither of them wanted to do it. It was incredibly difficult for the two of them to be put in that position. And as I said, it's highly manipulative of, like, everybody involved. But honestly, not a bad play. You know, get the people on your side by saying, like, look what they did to a 4-year-old child. Isn't this horrifically awful? And yeah, it worked for a short time until Aegon kind of ruined it by killing all the rat catchers. I don't know if that was a part of the book or not. Again, it's been such a long time since I've read the book. I say such a long time. It's been like a year and a half or 2 years or something. But it reads like a history book, so there's a lot of details that I am spacing out on. But honestly, Aegon killing all the rat catchers, taking out his torture on Blood, I get it. It was his son that was murdered, an innocent kid. I would be really, really upset as well. I would also want vengeance. And when someone wants vengeance, it's really difficult to talk them down from that ledge and see some sense. And it's not helped by the fact that in the previous episode, Larys was telling him, you know, you don't want to be seen as weak now, do you? Not like your father. And in doing so, Aegon is really using his power to create some fear in the people. Like, having done this to me, all will suffer. So this better not happen again, essentially. And also choosing Kristen Cole as his hand is definitely a power play, saying I want strength and violence on my side. He says as much, you know, I don't want to be patient. I don't want to do paperwork. I don't want to do politics. I want vengeance and blood. And methinks he's gonna get it. And I also like how we take the time to show how this whole situation has really affected Rhaenyra and Daemon as well. Like, people on Rhaenyra's council don't even believe her that she wasn't involved with this. Like, they were all there when she said very clearly, I want Aemond. Like, that is the price that needs to be paid here. But given how grief-stricken she is over Lucerys, they're like, I mean, I feel like you might have ordered the death of a toddler. Which is pretty fucked up. I'm glad Rhaenys stepped in for a moment and was like, mind your words carefully, sir. Like, hold the fuck up. And good God, was that scene between Daemon and Rhaenyra tense as hell. I really like that scene. That may be my favorite in the whole episode, but there were a lot here to pick from. There were some really great scenes and really great acting in this episode. And before I jump into the technicals here, I do think that it was Auric, the one who was with the Green Council, who killed Eric in that fight. And the act of having to kill his own twin brother was just so immense to him that he kind of let go of his assassination attempt to kill Rhaenyra and just, you know, begged for forgiveness right before he killed himself. I could be wrong. It could be the other way around. It was nearly impossible to tell who was who in that fight, which, again, was the point. I like how they drew attention to that as well, where characters in the scene were all like, well, you know, which one is ours? Like, what do we do? Who do we help? No one even was able to come to the rescue because you don't know which side you're supposed to be on. And the tension you felt after one twin had died and there's still one standing, you're like, so are you ours? Like, do we have to kill you too, or would that be a mistake? But he kind of takes that choice away from them. It was great. A lot of this episode was really great, and I think the pacing improved quite a bit. But technical time. Writing in this episode was incredible. I really don't have much to criticize about it. Again, I think the pacing was really good, really methodic and slow, but in a good way. Considering how horrible of an event Jaehaerys' murder was, I think that's exactly what was needed here. And I'm also glad we're not going to be, like, tearing through this story too fast. I know the showrunners have said they plan on about 3 or 4 seasons for this, and I'm really hoping we go for like 4 or 5, because there's a lot to tell here, and I would like to see it all. And the pacing of this episode leans me more towards 4 or 5 seasons, which I'm happy about. Every character, no matter how aggravating or sympathetic their emotions or actions were in this episode, felt so unbelievably in character. I really enjoyed that. One notable action that I can think of here is Alicent's behavior towards her children. Even though she's, heartbroken over what Helena had to endure and witness, she still doesn't really know how to comfort her or, really be there for her. And then later in the episode, she has no idea how to comfort Aegon in his grief. Because as good and bad of a person as Alicent is, it's been made clear many times at this point that she maybe doesn't hold contempt for her children, but doesn't know how to connect with them. There isn't that extremely strong mother and child bond the same way that Rhaenyra has with her children. And I like that through line. I like that wasn't just completely forgotten about or changed, because in the first season that was made pretty clear, and here they're still sticking to that. Acting in this episode was, through the roof. It was so good from literally everyone. The standout performer for me was probably Tom Glencarney, who plays Aegon. Again, everyone did a fantastic job, but his grief and anger felt so real. And it succeeded in making me feel genuinely sympathetic towards his character, despite knowing what a terrible person he is. The nuance to his acting was very, very impressive. But again, I give it up to a lot of people in this one. Emma Darcy as Rhaenyra was fantastic. They really had this genuine sense of guilt over their words being taken in such a terrible way. Olivia Cooke as Alicent really sold the guilt that she is also feeling and the extreme sorrow over having her daughter suffered through this. So Matt Smith's moment of anger and frustration and maybe even a bit of grief as well, as he's struggling to not be violent towards Rhaenyra as she's calling him out for these horrible things that he's done and how he's very self-interested, which is true. It was just incredible. Acting was stellar. Cinematography was also firing on all cylinders. There were some truly gorgeous shots in this episode. There were a lot of really close-up shots on the actors as they're emoting through their grief and guilt and trauma, which makes a lot of sense. This whole episode seems to be really heavily focused on the perspectives of each character and how they witnessed this awful event. Even the wide shots that established scenes or locations were exceptionally good in this episode. There's one shot of Rhaenyra in the library before she talks to Mysaria, which was just fantastic, looked beautiful. There's also a couple location establishing shots showing angles of places that we haven't quite seen before, or have seen but just not from that exact angle, and they just looked really, really good. Editing was also fantastic. There are a lot of moments where they would hold on a specific shot for a very long time just to draw out that tension just a little bit more, which I really, really appreciated. And again, they took the pacing to a much more methodic and slow kind of pacing without too many jarring cuts or anything to really sell and emphasize the actors and what they're able to do here. I mean, it really seemed like every department was kind of cohesively working together very, very well. Costumes and makeup were, again, fantastic. I appreciate, again, how a lot of the wigs have improved, and to me it is quite noticeable in this season. Not to say the wigs in the first season were bad, but there was room for improvement, for sure. Something I've noticed in a lot of television is black actors and black characters have a real tough time finding makeup and hair artists that are able to do a wig pretty well for certain black hairstyles. But I quite liked what they did for Adam. Again, room for improvement there. It wasn't perfect, but not bad. Not bad. Considering how much of The Walking Dead I've watched and how bad some of those wigs were for the black characters, I'm thankful to see something a lot better here. Or even the younger Laenor from the first season, whatever wig that was not good. And again, the costumes are just incredible. Like, they look so, so good. Set design was really fantastic. They seem to really emphasize a lot of new areas and sets that we haven't seen before in this one. I said I wanted to see more of that library set that we just got like a tiny snippet of in that first episode, and I certainly got my wish. We saw new areas of the Red Keep, new sections of King's Landing, Rhaenyra's quarters at Dragonstone, which are very nice. I mean, again, I'm really struggling to find things to criticize in this episode. This was a truly excellent one. And finally, the sound design was spectacular. Just the opening scene of the strings all playing through that bit of the score, it was just so mesmerizing and haunting and beautiful. I like how they pulled a lot of the music away from the situation between the two twins as they fought, just to really add to the tension of it. The building tense score that was happening as Helena was starting to get like way overstimulated and freaked out by the crowds of people all proclaiming how much they grieve for her. Just another truly standout quality of the episode. Again, everything was. It was so, so good. And that gives this episode a 9.6 out of 10. Definitely liked it more than the first episode, even though I really enjoyed that as well. Truly struggled to find major criticisms. I had to really nitpick to find anything to really dislike about the episode. And it's gotten me very, very excited for the rest of this season. There are some major events which I do expect to get through in the second season, but knowing that we're not going to be going at a super breakneck pace, I'm very curious as to where it's going to end. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all in that next one. And that's about it.